Good day, race fans, and welcome to the Intentional Wreck Podcast. Podcast made by race fans for race fans, from the casuals to the lifelong gearheads. My name is Jeff, and I'm here with my fellow hosts Corey, Finn, and Nick. You can find us on YouTube, Twitch, and Spotify under the name Intentional Wreck. You can find us on the socials at IntWreckPod. That's at INTWRECKPOD. We are back after an interesting race at Atlanta. At this point, based on Corey's point last week, Atlanta never really misses in its current state. And this past week was no different. So we're also coming into our last week of the regular season of the Intentional Wreck NASCAR 25 Racing League. So we got all kinds of good stuff going into that. We got some dramatic storylines on the way. We've got a few things happening with that, and we're going to Daytona, so it should just be PFC, pure fucking chaos. So with that being the case, how are y'all doing?
Yeah, well, you got that part right, buddy.
Good.
No, man, Atlanta was awesome as always. I am yet vindicated by the awesomeness of that track.
Yeah, Atlanta produces some great racing, and it's going to get better over the next couple years too. The more the track wears out, I mean, it's already tire wear comes into play. You can't be right on somebody's bumper in the corners. That's what super speedway racing should be. It's what it used to be.
I mean, you watched the race that I just watched, right? That we've talked about it with the history lane in 1994, and that what we saw at Atlanta is a lot closer, outside of the side-by-side stuff, a lot closer to what it used to be, which was kind of pacing behind the guys. I mean, yes, you could get bumps this week at Atlanta, and that was sending people, I mean, at all three series. I mean, I think I saw Kyle Busch won the truck race because he got pushed what felt like 16 car lengths up past the guys he was racing. But all three series, again, I mean, we talked about my concerns of starting out the season with two plate races, and it went about as good as you could go across all three series for the last 2 weeks, and this one certainly held up. So you guys catch what happened in the trucks Xfinity realm?
I didn't see Xfinity.
The end of the O'Reilly race was awesome.
Yep. So
I just know that Austin Hill got turned, which I love.
Well, just a quick recap. Obviously, Kyle Busch won the truck race. He's won there quite a bit for Atlanta in the trucks, but it was actually his teammate Carson Hocevar who stuck with him and pushed him to victory. And then they did double burnout on the front stretch.
Oh, that was awesome.
So that was sick. And that was that. A solid race nonetheless. And then the next night, all the usual suspects are up front in this Xfinity race. And I guess Ross Chastain got a little too much into Austin Hill. So that ruined the 21's chances to win the race, which, that's
Austin Hill threw a bad block.
Yeah, that's what
Austin Hill gets away with those blocks from everybody else in the Xfinity series because nobody else wants to ruffle any feathers. And it just took Daddy Ross to come down and lay the wood.
But winning that race was Sheldon Creed getting his first win in Xfinity.
After 15 second place finishes.
15 second place finishes.
That is an insane number without winning a race.
Yeah. Yep. Sheldon Creed finally and I wonder if getting that off of his back is really going to help him because he's been solid. He was in the RCR shop in the Jesse Loves 2 car, right? But now he's Stuart Haas. Is it Stuart Haas ride that he's in? And or just Haas at this point, right?
Haas factory team.
Factory team ride. And I'm curious to see. They obviously have a good Xfinity program. Cole Custer, when he moved down, was competing for wins. So I imagine this is that same ride. In what we saw teammates on the truck series doing double burnouts, Sam Mayer, the other Haas factory team Xfinity driver, came around and tried to drive up next to your teammate and kind of say, hey, yeah, man, good job. And then he realized, oh shit, I'm a little too far into the dog leg. So he took a hard left to try to go through the grass and get to pit road and destroyed the front bumper and undercarriage of the car. Absolutely, literally bring the car home in one piece. He ran a whole Atlanta race with nothing and then completely toasted the car.
Jeez.
So exciting there. And Jeff, I mean, you're your boys, man. Your boys, man.
It is.
Is it worth the
mean-
Denny Hamlin non-championship to have this Denny Hamlin's team of dominance now?
Don't
Well,
do that.
Okay.
First and second in
So
points.
that's an interesting way to put it, and I'm not going to bring myself back into the spiral that I was in at the end of last season, or generally how I felt at the beginning of this season. But what I will do is celebrate the fact that 2311 is just on fire. And one of the things that I want to point out about that I think is significant, it's not just like you could look at this without having watched the races and had much and just looked at the point standings, looked at the fact that 2311 is there, and looked at the fact that Reddick has won these races and gone, oh, like they're super speedway races, some shit went down, and these guys are, they vaulted their way up to the front through the chaos that is super speedway racing. And no, that's simply not the case. Bubba ran a hell of a race this week. He ran a hell of a race last week. This past week in particular, he was a car to beat the entire day at Atlanta. He was quick. He was fast. To be honest, his finish didn't reflect how well he ran the entire day.
Yeah.
He got 19 stage points. He finished second in stage 1 and won stage 2.
Right.
Yeah, he got hung out to dry a little bit there at the end, but I mean, if you're on a team winning back-to-back races and in one of those two races you're doing it with 3/4 of a car, you're doing something right.
Right.
I mean, like he was that thing was tore up. I don't know if I've ever seen in my time watching NASCAR a car in worse shape win a race. That thing was banged up. I mean, it was that front right tire was completely exposed from the
Yeah, it's just
right
missing
down to
the right front fender, but it definitely messes with the aero.
Yeah, just a
Oh,
little
sure.
bit.
It didn't apparently.
Yeah, right.
And I guess that's the big confusion because, for example, Corey, I don't know if we talked about this before, but there was a time I think like Truex or somebody ended up with the right similar scenario, fender off the car, and you would think the car would struggle, but that all of the air now being let in to cool the tire and the brake actually helped the car drive better and thus work. But that it's not Atlanta that you think that that's going to happen, right? It's the it's maybe those heavy braking tracks like a worldwide technology where Noah Gragson's complete brake pad destroyed. So
it's also on the outside of the car. I have to imagine if it was his left front fender, it probably wouldn't have been driving quite as well.
Oh,
that
for
left
sure.
front fender is cutting into the air a little bit, and it's just slipping off the back like that back end as he's turning to the left. But yeah, that would have been a mess.
Yeah, I'm really surprised that that he was able to hold Briscoe off. And another thing too, with just the chaos of super speedway racing, it's really hard to find consistency and get your kind of establish yourself. And the 23XI guys being able to walk away first and second in points. I would say XI, but it's 2311. They've done a really good job taking insane advantage of chaos tracks. You know what I mean? Because Zane Smith is top 5 in points. Daniel Suarez is top 10 in points. You know what I mean? Those things are going to shake up as time goes. But if you are a top driver that's able to put yourself ahead early, especially like a Bubba with that many stage points, that's nasty business because they've been ultra good elsewhere. And can you think of any other drivers not named Bubba Wallace or Tyler Reddick that have put themselves in an immaculate position early this year, with these two races? It's hard. It's hard to finish consistently well in these two races.
I mean, Hocevar's been up front.
True.
Yeah. Larson until he decided he was going to just run over SVG. I don't know what that was about.
That was a bonehead move.
Yeah.
He said it himself.
Yeah.
I got a question for you. Even though he's not the first to do it that he mentioned, and I posted that video. Also, how cool is that? I hope they do it. The NASCAR film room. I posted that video in chat the other day. I get Eric Estep, I don't know how to pronounce his name. They're doing detailed breakdowns. They showed Tyler driving from 20th to 3rd in a minute and a half. But imagine they do that weekly. Get SVG clips and get SVG on there to talk about what he was doing. Oh, that great detail type content. That being said, they mentioned about the burnout, and he said that he thinks Kurt Busch is the first to do it, but should Tyler Reddick make the backwards burnout a signature move? Because that was a banger.
That would be sick.
That was
Yeah.
a banger. I mean, the SVG burnout, drifting all around the track, and then the burnout down, giving high fives to everybody. That's signature. I mean, obviously, it's hard to
you guys.
Yeah.
Speaking of Reddick burnouts, did you see Reddick's cameo on Monday Night Raw after the win?
I saw that he was on it. I didn't.
It was
catch
sick. He came in like he drove CM Punk into the venue. And when he did, he gets to the parking lot and just whips it around into a sick burnout. And him and CM Punk climb out of the car, both with championship belts on their shoulder, and go and walk into the venue afterwards. It was really cool.
That's pretty sick.
Yeah.
So
they're gonna have him back on. They needed him back on last night.
Pretty much, yeah.
So, question. Obviously, you mentioned Hocevar, who had an incredible race, and the hilarious moments, right, with the shake and bake. If you guys heard that on the radio,
his radio was great. Yeah,
his radio is always great. Top tier listen. My question to you is, how much at fault are you holding Hocevar to the Christopher Bell wreck on that initial start? I don't know if it was technically a green-white checkered or not.
75%.
75. Okay. Who's got the other 25% of blame?
Christopher Bell.
Okay, Bell. Go ahead, Corey.
Who was pushing Hocevar there?
Chastain.
Chastain, I think.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, okay, so the best point I heard on this is, what was Christopher Bell thinking? Because he's just set himself up for to have Hocevar and Chastain behind him.
Yeah.
And it's like, don't do that. Just let them be them on the out. Don't do that. Just let the Toyotas line up on the inside. You let Tweedledee and Tweedledum on the outside just go do their thing. But like at the same time, where was Hocevar supposed to go? There was nowhere for him to go. Chastain's up his ass.
He was supposed to stay in line with Christopher Bell, but Christopher Bell drifted up the track. There was a window for half a second. If you give Hocevar a window for a tenth of a second, he's going to try to put a car in there.
Yeah.
Everybody on track knows that.
Okay.
So nobody can be surprised at what Hocevar tried to do. I saw it coming from a mile away.
90% of the blame for this wreck is on whoever made the decision for Christopher Bell to take the outside lane.
Yes,
I agree. Me and Nick have been coaching these guys in the IWP and iRacing over the last 2 months, and the number one thing we try to get a hold of these guys, which is the wreck might not be your fault, but you being in the position you are is. You have got to set yourself up for the best circumstance. For example, just like you said, if he chooses to get in line behind Bubba and let those guys on the outside go, this is a non-issue. Maybe he gets a bump. Maybe he goes. It doesn't matter. There's 4 Toyotas on the bottom lane in that scenario. 4 Toyotas to just 3 Chevys, and 2 of them are one of them's ex-teammates, and the other 2 don't even care for each other. None of them really care for each other. Suarez has no incentive to push Chastain. Chastain has no incentive to push Hocevar. Yeah, so you take that, and then you let them go. And you think, well, what could happen? Well, here's what could happen after Christopher Bell got himself wrecked out of the whole scenario because of the last 2 people. You know what I mean? The last 2 people. That's like putting yourself, and I'm not comparing Hocevar to Dale Sr., despite that really cool Intimidente scheme that came out. But you wouldn't put yourself in front of Dale Sr. knowing that he doesn't lift. You wouldn't put yourself in front of Brad K knowing that he doesn't lift. So what should you do? Stay the bottom lane, let them go, let Bubba block, get himself wrecked or move back, and then take advantage of being the first car on the inside. You know who did that?
Well,
Tyler fucking Reddick did, and he won the race.
Well, the Toyotas wanted to control the race like
the colleague Xfinity team. Yeah, remember when colleague used to do that in Xfinity? It was like, I think it was Chastain and Haley and those guys. They would control all the lanes, and they were like, well, we're going to come home a winner. Yeah, but Hocevar and Chastain weren't in that fucking race. Well, Chastain might have been the one in the front. Just a dumb decision. And
no, it was
And
You
How
might as
about
well like you have strapped yourself to a giant bottle rocket and you're just hoping for the best at that point. And it's like,
Yeah.
no, don't do that.
yeah?
Don't do
How about Chase Briscoe coming from 34th to second?
Yeah.
Hey,
Pretty good
I
drive.
told you guys.
championship
That
driver.
was the easiest no-brainer ever
Listen,
to put him up in the
if they're even close to the form they were during the chase last year or playoffs last year,
Oh yeah.
this championship
Mm.
is going to be very difficult to take out of their hands. And this race, I've got. I know we haven't gotten the code yet, but this is a race where it's like, okay, well, you're a road course guy too. Can you go up there and fight up there for a win or be top 5? And then if that's the case, if they've got their road course program figured out, good luck.
I don't remember how well he's done at Coda. I know he was good at Indy Road,
Indy
but
Road, yeah,
I don't remember how good he
Sonoma.
was at Coda.
He's not good in the rain at Chicago.
No,
Not good
no.
in the rain at Chicago. But speaking about these road ringers and other things, SVG with a P6 after being spun not once but 2 spins through the infield.
Yeah.
He
Second one
certainly,
was all alone though.
yeah, he got loose. He got loose.
Briscoe not historically great at Coda.
Yeah.
I didn't
6th,
think so.
Driving
30th,
shitboxes.
15th, 13th, 14th. Last
Okay.
year in the 19 car 14th.
Yeah, that was before they figured their shit out. I think it'll be a shocker. Maybe not a winning speed, but SVG, man, there's
Yeah.
such a confidence to them. It's no more okay, we're figuring shit out. It's we're moving forward.
No, he's gonna be a problem because he's if he can show up to Daytona and Atlanta and drive around in the front.
I still don't see him getting an oval win this year.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to take at least one more year, but I see a few top 5s for sure.
Yeah, that's what I see. That may be all he needs is to try to be Mr. Consistent and turn 15th place cars into top 10 cars and top 10 cars into top 5s and then go win his 4 races. And
what he's missing in my mind from getting that win is finding the limit and staying at the limit of oval racing and not, destroying his stuff. He's so good at road racing doing that because he has so much experience, but he doesn't have hardly, any experience compared to the rest of the guys on the track at just consistently finding that limit each and every lap in an oval. He's getting closer, but
this might have been the week if he didn't get run over by Kyle Larson.
well, if he didn't get run over by Kyle Larson, he still lost it by himself after that.
Yes, but you have to do a little bit of, all right, well, maybe that doesn't happen if the car hadn't already gone through the grass, et cetera, et
Yeah,
cetera.
if he didn't finish P6, he could have won it.
Yeah. But I mean, my point being,
I get your point.
He was moving to the front pretty quick. He was one of the few guys that was running the bottom that had seemed to have figured out how to be really fast at the bottom.
Yeah.
Because the preferred lane most of the day was the top, and he was making that bottom lane work. So if he finds a way to turn his uniqueness into an advantage everywhere, it's going to be curtains. Or even not everywhere, but to use it to his advantage as much as possible. Yeah. Obviously, he's going to win 3, 4, 5 road courses this year or whatever. But we also get the first SVG Connor Zillich shootout this weekend, which I'm very much looking forward to. I'm looking forward to a road course race. Welcome to 2026.
Jeff,
I've been wondering about that one myself, is just to see how those two gel, what it actually looks like, because I can't imagine we know SVG is going to the front. Yep. I'm very curious about what's going to happen and how those two are going to interact. Yeah.
Your front row is SVG and Connor Zillich. That is my prediction.
I don't know.
That's a pretty solid prediction.
Zillich is good, and there's going to be a lot, but I do think he needs 1 or 2 to figure it out. And he's going to be subject to what all rookies are at Coda in the Cup Series, which is being bullied. You have not earned the respect for the league to not dive bomb the shit out of you. That being said, he was quick last year.
I'm looking forward to that Xfinity race though.
Yeah.
That's going to be fun to watch.
Decent. Both of them are in it, right? Or at least Shane is. So
no, both of them are in it.
Oh yeah, that'll be something where I could see Connor being a little bit more ahead just because of how much experience he has on that car. Before we get to
Yeah.
Coda,
Trucks on the street course this weekend. St. Pete, right?
oh yeah, is that this weekend?
I think it's this weekend, right?
Oh,
They're in Florida. They're in Florida racing with Indy this weekend, if I'm not mistaken. Right, Jeff? Isn't the Indy race in St. Pete on Sunday or Saturday?
On March 5th, I believe.
Yeah, it is. No.
Oh, is it
Grand Prix of
following
St.
week?
Petersburg, Saturday, February 28th. You're right. Oh, I
There you
read
go.
something. There's a guy that's going to be a crew chief in that race. Jimmy Johnson. You guys heard the name? Jimmy Johnson is going to be crew chief, and he's going to get a win, just like Dale Jr. got a win as a crew chief last year.
Yeah.
Jeff, how long until we start hitting the panic button on our drivers? Alex Bowman's over 107 points behind the leader. You're 93 with 1 stage point for Denny Hamlin, 93 points behind first place. How many races get to go by until we are in the panic button?
How long until we hit the panic button for our drivers in this discussion?
Yeah, how long? I mean, Denny
You
Hamlin's
should already
27th
had your
in
panic
points.
button pressed, dog.
I had-
I'm fine.
Yeah.
I
The
listen.
panic button for the 48 was pressed before the start of the season.
It was when they extended. I don't even remember Blake Harris. That's when the panic button for the
Yeah.
48 occurred, when they extended Blake Harris. Jesus,
That's
I
what I'm
mean,
saying. I'm like,
Roger
your
Caruth.
panic button should
Roger
have already
Caruth had a
been-
fast ride this week. I had
Damn.
I was a half expecting to have to deal with Raja to the 48 tweets all goddamn day.
Yeah, no. I'll say this. I'm not panicking yet because these circumstances have dictated some pretty unfortunate finishes to these races. Which, yes, that's going to set the 11 back right now. It's not how that team has expected to go at the very beginning, of course, considering Denny's history at Daytona. I think it was going to be somewhat of a crapshoot with Atlanta, but the car was at least halfway decent. We've already forgotten Coda happened, even though it hasn't happened yet, because, Denny on a road course is, it's just meh.
Right.
So
I mean,
I'm not as worried about that. But like, to me, I've got my eye on what happens as we start moving in towards the spring and where things go. But I have a feeling like I am not totally concerned yet because I smell at least a top 5 for the 11 coming in after we roll into March. So,
I'm gonna say this, dude. Nobody thought Jimmy's last win was gonna be that Dover race.
yeah,
True.
And not that I'm getting that vibe from Denny. Obviously, it's just 2 races into a year after he should have won the championship. But there's so many deflating things, and then it's just one of those like, man, the better everybody else is, the less chances he's gonna have for victory. So,
Well,
I think he gets at least 2 or 3 wins this year, but you're
I'm
right
gonna-
about nobody thought that, Jimmy's last would be his last. He was still
right.
fighting for wins
Right.
whenever that
Okay.
happened.
So here's the thing with that, though, is that to your other point, Finn, about, everybody else getting better and it potentially like squeezing things out. Like, let's not go and act as though Denny has not been somebody to try and rise to an occasion. Just like, I'm not in any way, shape, or form going to put the guy with 0 championships on the same tier as the guy with 7. But what I'm also going to say is there is a comparable aspect to the way that the two of them drive, in the sense that nobody, if they're not supposed to win, nobody ever told them that at any point.
Yeah.
And that's at any Sunday that they show up to a track, if they were not supposed to win, nobody has or will ever tell them that. That's all I'll say about that point.
Well, many think somebody
right
should tell Jimmy at this rate, but I'm just happy he's still driving.
I want to shout out the point system for this year.
Go ahead.
Tyler Reddick.
This is gonna segue into victory lane because of what we wrote about. But go ahead.
Everyone, was like, "Oh, the winning you're in." The drivers loved it because you could just get a win and get in and not have to worry about anything else. There was a big group of people who thought that wins were not going to be as worth it with this point structure. But Tyler Reddick, 2 wins, 2 races. He's already almost a full race ahead of second place in the points. He's 40 points ahead of second place. I love this points. How the points are broken out. I love that there's no automatic bid, but I mean, what is it? 55 points for a win, and then 40 for second.
It's so refreshing. Like it just even early on in the season, it's refreshing to see. And so the other thing is, I wonder if it was so much whether the drivers would have really felt that way about the previous system in saying, oh, winning you're in would have been as good so much as maybe the team owners and people that were in charge of the teams and the people that are funding a car that they're going to try and go, okay, we're going to dump everything into this basket to try and get this early season win.
Sponsors loved it for sure.
Right, exactly. It's those kind of things because you got your primary sponsor knows, okay, we're sponsoring a Dylan and we're going to try and put this money into this car and we're going to make sure our logo is front and center because he's got just as good as a shot to win Daytona as anybody else in the field. And then throughout the rest of the season, it's kind of like,
Yeah.
like it's out with a whimper. So, but to that point regarding our point system, that leads us pretty well into our victory lane this past week. Our driver from the league, Hunwee, got the win for fantasy this past week, and so that means that Finn, sounds like you got some reading to do.
I got some reading, and fortunately, no pro UK rants this week. Hunwee is a God-fearing American, and so we will have we will have a NASCAR centric gold medal winning American here. All right, so
no cheese and onion sandwiches being celebrated this week. That's for damn sure.
A dominant week from Hunwee in our league. I mean, I don't think really anybody was close to him, and he's actually tied with Dilly for the overall at 357 apiece. So. Interesting start to the year for those guys. So here is our message from Hunwee. As an RCR fan this season has started rough to say the least. I love the aspect of the new point system to reward consistency, but there are a couple things that will be interesting when we look back at a full season. One thought that has been with me for 2 weeks is, will an all-season point system be as good as it once was? When I say this, I mean, is it the best fit for the next-gen cars? These cars breed tight races, and they're very tough to pass. When we look at the past generations of cars that were pre-chased, that wasn't the case. At super speedways, you'd have 3 to 5, maybe 10 car groups. Mile and a half and short tracks, there'd maybe only 10 to 15 cars even on the lead lap at the end of the race. And road courses, well, NASCAR didn't give a shit about those. So you've gone from fast cars being able to show how fast they are from the fastest guy to now where the fastest guy might struggle to even get to the front. It might be taken out by somebody who just cut their ride because they got more money than other options, aka Herbst, who we all know Heim should be in that car already. And then he stopped, which again makes a minute, but I really thought he had more in the tank on that one. But Hunwee's general thought, and let's see if we get the consensus from the rest of you guys, is that is the next gen car good enough to where we will bring back the hype of that NASCAR's past with the full season?
We'll know that probably 2 seasons into this one yet. We're not going to know that yet. This season isn't really going to be, because right now we're going to ride the high off of getting away from the playoffs, so everything's going to feel a little bit better. After we've done this a little bit and teams have chances to adjust, and after we have an opportunity for things to move forward, and people are now fully in the thick of adjusting and putting themselves in position to operate under this format, that's when we'll really see what's going to happen. We'll really see how things look, and if it really does shape out to the fastest car wins, the best team gets gets out to the front, and all of those other factors. Right now, we can all just kind of revel in the joy of, okay, we're not at this point where winning you're in is a factor. The concept of going down to 4 drivers being the, like, no matter what are in it, that's how things last. Like, certain manufacturers, certain one specific track being the determining factor for the entire shebang. All of that, we can move past that. We'll ride in the glow of that for at least a year. Next year, year after, I think we'll finally start to see people's realistic opinions about whether or not this is better and whether the car is suited for it.
I will say yes, but Everything you said is correct. Everybody's living off the high of getting away from the win and you're in bullshit. But to Hunwee's point, we have seen that there is much closer racing with the next gen car, and closer racing leads to closer points championships. It leads to closer points battles. It leads to, people, rubbing a little bit more because points matter more. I think we're going to see a whole lot of tighter racing. I think we're going to see a little bit more aggressive racing. And people aren't going to let things go as much as they have in the past about, getting spun out at Coda, for instance, and going from 12th to 36th. Because if you're somebody who can win in the past, you didn't care about Denny Hamlin never cared about Coda because he could win and not worry about it. Now he has to worry about it. Now everybody has to worry about it. So I think that it's going to be a lot more aggressive, and I really feel like we're going to have probably at least 5 drivers at the end that can win it. The championship.
To add to that, also, so one of the other things tacking on with Hummy's point too, and I don't mean to hog all the time here, but one of the other factors is NASCAR has an opportunity here with this, considering how close the racing can be, to possibly run this format better than its competitors in motorsport in general, because of how much faster or more evenly matched a lot of the cars are. When you watch F1 right now, you watch IndyCar, yes, F1 got down to the last race, and between Lando and Max going in towards the end of the season last year, and that was thrilling and it was awesome and all that kind of stuff, and I loved it, and obviously let's go McLaren, all that cool stuff. But then you look at IndyCar. Alex Palou was he was insane last year, and nobody can take away how amazing of a run he had throughout that series. But as far as competition, eyeballs on the series, people watching, who's going to give a shit? This to me is what people's biggest fear is that is somebody going to give a shit in the last 4 races of the season when somebody's ran away with it?
I think what the sort of kernel of importance of what you guys are kind of digging at here is that parity is compelling, right? So if you're in a position where we're doing this whole season points thing and somebody comes out and wins the first 10 races, a la Jimmy Johnson or whatever, and the championship's been decided with 7 races to go in the year, nobody wants that. I don't care who you are. Nobody wants that.
I want it if it's deserved. That's racing.
Okay, fine.
It's also value on certain races.
Nobody would prefer that over compelling parity, right?
From an entertainment perspective, for sure.
But what are we doing this for then?
To figure out who's the better driver.
So
who's the better team?
Again, back on my football soapbox, the reason why the 28-3 comeback by the Patriots, or the goal line interception by the Patriots, or the more recently
World Series last year,
or the Chiefs coming back down a ton against the Niners. The reason why those epic Super Bowl moments, or the Eagles Patriots going back and forth, the reason why those are so special aren't just because they were great games, but because nothing forced it to happen. For every one of those, you could get a Patriots Rams, where it's a defensive battle and it's boring and people suck, right? No,
Broncos Seahawks.
Yes, Broncos Seahawks Super Bowl, where it's just over by the first quarter, by the first snap, when it was a safety. It was it. You need those games and those races and those championship battles so that you appreciate when they're close, right? If you try to force, we already saw what happened when NASCAR tries to do everything it can to force it to be compelling and close. Listen, at the end of the day, if a guy has won so many races that he could finish last in 7 straight races and still win the championship, brother, go right ahead. You know what I mean? It's the same deal. All those road course races last year with SVG winning 5 out of the 6 of them. Okay. Imagine if they said, hey, every time SVG is more than 10 seconds ahead, we're going to throw a caution. That's stupid, right? He's way the fuck ahead. He earned it. But they're over here going, no, it would be more compelling if we had a restart. So then SVG had to rebeat them. No, he already did the work. He did the effort.
Okay.
And now he gets
And
the
I
coast. You feel
understand,
me?
and I understand what you're saying, but like, if I find it boring when we're lining up knowing the outcome, that's boring to me, dude.
For the
Like,
championship
I'm sorry.
perspective,
I'd
I mean, the
rather just-
race.
I don't need to watch. I don't need to. My point is, I got other stuff to do, dude.
Right.
If it's not competitive and compelling and entertaining, and I know the outcome before I ever sit down to watch the race, I don't care.
For a championship, yes, but for a race, I mean, there's still a race occurring, right? There's still a race happening. Yes, if in this oddball, because for example, we'll have to go back and see in the modern NASCAR era. So I'm going to go 2000 and on, right? C Playsick is rolling in his grave right now. Because I said 2000 on, and he's like, back in my day, it was the 80s in high school.
Yeah, we found that guy's in his mid-50s. How about that?
So my point is I can't remember a single time the race or the championship battle has ever been locked up with more than just one race to go. I believe Jeff may have locked it up the week before the final race, because the final race used to be in Atlanta, right? I believe Jeff used to lock it up, like Jeff Gordon locked it up, but I don't believe, and definitely not since the Chaser, has a driver ever locked up points, the championship. All it ever was, hey, in the final race, you have to finish higher than 13th.
Right.
But race, if it comes to a scenario where somebody dominates and then the final race doesn't matter, I can live with that. If it's the final 7, I would say yes, but 1, the likelihood of it happening is minimal. And 2, if it did, I think we would all be watching this going, Kyle Larson won 15 of 17 races? Holy fuck. You know what I mean? Like, that's bringing its own.
I'm not saying that it makes it undeserving.
Yeah.
I'm saying it makes it
boring.
It's not that the winner doesn't deserve it. It's that it makes the process mundane. Because it's like, if you know the outcome, it loses entertainment value for me.
I mean, we saw it in F1.
No about the fact that I'm talking about me here.
No, we saw it in F1 for sure.
The only place that matters isn't first place.
IndyCar last year was too.
Yeah.
I mean, there's still battles going out throughout the whole standings.
Right.
And also,
yes, the championship may be locked up, but who's going to get second in the standings? Who's going to get third?
Yeah, that still means a lot for teams. And so the other thing is too, is one of the things I think that's going to come out of this is we're going to see, I think that this also leads for potential for the crown jewels to mean more than they did in the previous format as well. That in the past, there was a time in which one of the reasons why crown jewels are crown jewels is the fact that like the tracks that they ran at, that Daytona 500, that Brickyard, that Talladega race and stuff like that, they have the aura that they do now because in the past, those particular races tended to be more compelling and they had a little bit more of there was more of a buzz and there was more to it. Whereas you had something to put a little bit more of your attention to on an individual like race that wasn't quite as detrimental to the actual like championship itself. I think we're going to see certain tracks get a little more shine now in a way that they hadn't in the playoffs.
It is also, to me, in the nature of NASCAR, what separates NASCAR to me, to the untrained eye, from the other series around the world is that it is unpredictable and that there is parity. I like the whole craze with F1 came about a couple years ago, and Max Verstappen won like 90% of the races for 2 years.
Right.
And I'm like, that has got to be the most boring shit to watch.
Yeah, but
when you're just turning it on, knowing who's going to win already.
Right.
Like,
but
it wasn't boring for Red Bull fans.
Right. But also, that's large in part to how F1's cars and their current climate is of money. Like, first of all, that's not happening in NASCAR.
Yeah, I love that.
It's never going to happen. So I'm not too worried about the prospective scenario where somebody does get that dominant, because if one guy's that dominant in a shop, I mean, the other cars in that team are going to elevate. We have massive parity right now. You know what I mean? We're over here. We're all about to put a guy on our fantasy team who's on a B tier team, and he's slated to win 5 races. When was the last time a B tier team in NASCAR had could very realistically win 7 races this year. If you give Ross Chastain 2, Zilich 1, and SVG 4,
Yeah.
there you go. Right, we're sitting at, and that's not even a cup race or plate races. So now we have a scenario where a B team winning how much of the schedule? That's crazy parity.
Bar
right?
is going to be competitive in every oval race this year.
So
on a okay-ish team.
Yeah. Should I move Dakota? It's H1. It's H20. It's H20.
No, not gonna lie. Good victory lane.
Got us way off topic, Hunwee.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
That's perfectly fine. And with that being the case, we can move on towards Coda. I know, Nick, you've got a hot lap for us for this one, right?
Yeah. Go ahead and pull.
I do.
Go ahead and pull that up real quick.
Okay.
And let me get my stream situated here because it's way bigger. That's what she said than I thought it was going to be.
Oh.
Holy shoot. Okay, hold on. This is painful. That's also what she said. I did not anticipate the size. Sorry, I can't stop at this rate. That's also what she said. Okay, all right.
There was a time where you had this.
All right, it was good. All right. It fits just perfect, Zaddy. All right, give us a drive around Coda, and the floor is yours.
All right, so this for this week's lap with Nick, we're looking at Coda, Circuit of the Americas. It's in Austin, Texas. I'm just going to take you through a lap that I did. I did a couple races today, streamed them, and we're going to look at that. So I'm going to go ahead and press play here. This is coming up the front stretch. You see just how uphill this is going into one. It's insane. It like even this doesn't do it justice about how uphill the entry to one is, which benefits the drivers because you can carry a lot more speed and brake a lot harder because you have additional downforce from going uphill. But the turn into one is challenging because of the elevation. So we're going into one here. Hard on the brakes, very big left-hander. You're gonna see so many people cleaned out right here. It's always calamity corner. Hard on the gas. You got this sweeping right-hander here that is going to catch people out right before the S's, and the S's are probably the most technical part of this track because of the way that weight transfers in this car. So one thing about my lap that's going to be different from what you're going to see on Sunday is that we use iRacing to do these laps, and the iRacing layout is a little different than what you're going to see on Sunday. On Sunday, they're going to turn left right here and go through a little left-hander into another left-hander, right-hander, and then another left-hander. So on iRacing, we use this little short chute back here that is really narrow, and it's just a straight shot and another left-hander. The guys are going to come out right here. So it's basically the same in terms of time and distance, but a little bit different. I wanted to point that out. So a straight here, heavy braking zone. You're going to see a lot of people dive bomb, for a lack of a better term, right into here, but this is a definite passing zone, and this is another just a hairpin turn that's going to probably clear a couple people out. A very, very slow turn there. Then we get into the stadium section. Looking at all the grandstands back here, a big sweeping right into a big sweeping left. This track was made for F1 cars, and these are anything but. So all of the guys on Sunday are going to be trying to hug this turn as much as they can. There's no reason to get all the way out here like the F1 cars would do. So the more you can stay to the left, the better. And then just full on the gas right here. You're going to have a triple right-hander. So this is going to be a really big section on who can conserve speed and not scrub anything off and keep it to the right as much as possible. And then that's going to bring you into a double left-hander. So you're going to have people cutting that corner right there, going all the way out here, using up all the track. Another heavy braking zone right here that's going to be another passing opportunity into a hard left, I think a 90-degree left, and all the way back up to the front stretch. So that's a lap at Coda. It's I'll stop sharing my screen now if you want to go ahead and.
So I can confirm all of the points about places that people would wipe out, because when we ran our race on NASCAR 25, I wiped out in every single place that Nick mentioned.
Where didn't you?
And in all of the different ways and formats that he did. And I even found new ways to send my car.
Uh-oh.
Oh, we lost Jeff.
Are in places that
Oh, there he is.
So I can confirm that those are.
Nice.
Yeah, I can confirm those were all tough.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
I found new ways to wreck my car at Coda in ways that I didn't realize I could. So
Coda's always fun for people who love carnage.
Mm-hmm.
And I really don't see this year being any different.
Carnage of the Americas, yes.
Yeah.
So obviously, fantasy wise, everybody's putting them on their team, right? There's not a soul in the league that is not going to be using an SVG week this week.
Yeah.
I got him on my bench,
However,
he's in every road. He's
I got
he's
Dinger
number
in
one
there,
starter on every road course for everyone.
Yeah,
if you're not doing that, you're doing it wrong.
no Trackhouse, and Zillich is probably up there as well because this is the best chance to use him. Okay. Who is your third must-have on your fantasy team this week, and why? The third guy,
I put William Byron.
William Byron, obviously last year or has won this race before. He's trying to chase down Bell last year. I think it's a safe pick. Who do you got, Corey?
He's also got. I mean, as far as road courses go,
yeah. No,
I am going. Maybe this is a long shot. I don't know, but I am going to use a Ty Gibbs week this week.
That's not a bad one. Not a bad one.
Ty Gibbs week this week. It's not someone. Ty Gibbs is not somebody you're going to put in your lineup most of the time, but like at road courses, he's actually pretty good. It's a solid finisher at most road courses. He's been strong at Coda. If he's going to succeed anywhere, it's going to be riding around in third or fourth place at a road course.
So, Corey, talking about Ty Gibbs, the comparison for fantasy is Ty Gibbs versus Chase Briscoe.
Yeah.
So would you put Ty Gibbs over Chase Briscoe?
Yes, probably.
Okay. Okay. I'm going to go with, I'm going to use a 48 this week. I'm going to use Bowman. Bowman's generally been good at Coda.
Yep.
He can, if he puts together a solid day, he can get a top 5 at Coda.
He's multiple top 5s at Coda.
Yeah.
Probably his best road course.
Yeah.
Aside from Chicago.
Yes, but also yes. That's a good one. I'm gonna choose an obvious guy, but I think if there's a person who can dethrone SVG on road courses this year, he's been in front of us plain sight, is Chase Elliott. And here's why. People go, whoa, we've moved to these cars, and Chase Elliott's kind of lost his swagger about being a top road car. He's been consistent, but I don't think he's won a road course race in 2 years. But the return of the 750 horsepower package at the road course races, I think is going to prove tricky. I think SVG is obviously a favorite because he can drive anything left or right faster than everybody. But I think Chase Elliott might rediscover what made him so dominant in the 750 horsepower package era of the last gen, the Gen 6 car. If I'm not mistaken, right, that was 750 horsepower that they drove at road courses. So I'm gonna lean into I'm gonna lean into a Chase Elliott, favorite here and make sure he's on my team. Yes, it's a safe pick, but he might surprise. I mean, at the end of that race last year, he was flying through the field, I believe. and got his way all the way up into the top 5, being in the rear. So, yeah, there's my must-have on fantasy.
That's good. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it's interesting because with the way the road courses have gone this year or these last few years, I would have said, like, in 2026, Chase Elliott at a road course isn't what it used to be,
Right.
But yeah,
Right.
I could.
I
That's
mean, he
It's not
hasn't
an
been,
unsafe pick.
honestly.
Yeah, he hasn't been, but maybe that's what it was. Maybe it was just whatever style he had
People
was all that
in the
higher
Gen
horsepower.
6, people were. I'm sorry to cut
No,
you
you're
off.
good.
In
You're
the
good.
Gen 6, people were comparing him to Jeff Gordon
Right.
on being just a dominant road course racer because there was a time where even the when we had the road course ringers coming in, in the Gen 4 days and stuff, nobody could touch Jeff Gordon at a road course.
Right.
And nobody could touch Chase Elliott in a Gen 6 car.
Right.
And as soon as they went to the Gen 7, just Chase lost everything that he had gained at road courses.
Yeah. Yeah. I wish we had insight. I wish there was like a breakdown and be like, was it the way the H pad or the way the car or is it the horse or it could be a number of things. I wish we had that insight into it because
I'm sure the 9 team wishes they had it as well. I mean, let's be real. But
I mean, with data,
yeah, I mean,
with all the data sharing.
One thing that I think is going to be for sure after we roll in through Coda is that the standings are going to have a lot less blue in the top 10 by the end, at least based on what I'm suspecting here is that like right now, those standings up through the top 10, it's half blue. It's a whole lot of Fords up there right now, considering where things have gone. I think we're going to see more bow ties and T's in there. So
yeah. This is where the Penske cars take a little mid-season break. We'll see Ryan Blaney again at Vegas in a couple of weeks. But say goodbye to Brad, say goodbye to Busher, say goodbye to Gregson, say goodbye to Smith and Priest. We'll see Logano sometime around Texas.
Well, I mean, let's be honest. The Fords are going to show
We'll see Logano at Phoenix.
Fords are going to show up at Phoenix.
Yeah.
So I don't even know who won the last Phoenix race, dude. I'm blacking out. It's probably a Hendrick car. Jeff's like, me too, brother. Me too.
yeah.
All right. So, what's the last thing on the dock? IWP fantasy points or IWP end of the year, regular season?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Final race of the regular season
Rolling
at Daytona tonight.
All right, so we've got Daytona at night. If you guys are watching, you're not a part of it, we've got a Xbox NASCAR 25 league, and we are ending our regular season, and the final 12 playoff drivers will be determined tonight. How
many spots do we have open?
12 in total.
At this point.
12 in total. Oh, like people could get
like who's got a shot tonight?
Who's locked in?
So it's kind of it's almost hard to tell because of drop points.
Because of the drop weeks.
Right,
yeah.
right. So somebody severely racing better than somebody else this week may not be the difference, right? That might end up being a drop week for somebody in that count. So
I would assume that there are at least 3 spots still up for debate.
So I'm in 9th place, and I am 20 points ahead of Dinger Magic in 10th, and then another almost, if my math is right, almost 70 points in front of Hunwee in 11th. So I feel like I'm safe in 9th.
Yeah.
Dinger Magic.
3 spots. I meant 3 drivers that could still get in.
Yeah, I think Dinger Magic, Hunwee, Gamer. So Dinger Magic in 10th with 423 points, then almost a 50-point gap to Hunwee in 11th. So that's quite a bit to make up. Technically could happen. Hunwee in 11th with 371. Gamertag is the final car in at right now at 366. So he is just 5 points behind Hunwee. Shanzi is right there at 351, so he's 14 points behind Gamertag. And Fat Randy
I only need 135 to get myself
30 points out.
That
so
11, I think that 11 to 15 range. I mean, I know that's not like the hottest take ever, but that's gonna be the zone to watch.
Space Time Jumper,
Shanzi, Randy, and Space Time.
Space Time has an opportunity, I think, with a win. And if you're gonna give a Space Time hot lap, Jimmy, if he has like an incredible stage and a win, and the other guys have their worst day, there's a lot of opportunities there. So Because I think the max you can get in a point in a race is 80. That's only been done one time this season by Warm Snugs at
Watkins Glen.
Watkins Glen, where he completely toasted field. And the next closest was Snugs with 78 at Worldwide Technology, and the next closest was Snugs at Dover with 77. So he's got to have a Snugs-like day here. Actually, no, Fog got won both stages at Coda. So 280 performances from the 18 and the 3.
Fog actually got 78 at Pocono.
Did he have he did have a big Pocono day, didn't he?
78 at Pocono.
So
and an 80 bang at Coda.
So you'd have to basically win both stages if you're Hot Lap Jimmy or like Mad Cheeks. But again, a great
Anything's
solid
possible,
yep, anything's possible. Find your friends, find your alliances. I think it's going to be interesting. We got some new guys joining tonight. So the lobby's about to get lit.
I'm running around in the back.
Don't give away the Toyota strategy. Don't give away the Toyota strategy, because then they're going to come to the back with us.
Strictly for a win. I'm not racing for points tonight. I'm already locked into the playoffs. I am racing for a win and a win only. I'm trying to keep it clean and take advantage of my late race opportunity.
For sure.
That's a strategy. That's a way to go.
I'm just trying to build up momentum for the start of the chase.
Now you're going to have some momentum.
Till I'm turned around sideways.
Well, are we ready to switch over?
I think I was waiting for Jeff to get the hint. We're done with the pod, Jeff. Take us out.
I was letting y'all talk. I wanted to leave space for people to say what they needed to say. But okay, that's going to wrap things up for us this week. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. Check us out on Twitch and YouTube under the name Intentional Rec and on your favorite audio platforms. Find us on the socials at IntRecPod. That's at INTWERECKPOD. I'm trying to rush because Finn's pushing me because he's got to poop. Anyway.
You can see him sweating from here.
Check out the Racing League. It will be streamed tonight. Things should be fun. Things are going to get dicey.